make sure please that we speak up, but with the numbers here, you just press the button and it goes red and speak, and then press it off when you finish speaking. Welcome to the Town Hall event in Spa and Warwick District Council, one of the finest and most successful areas in the country. I welcome you all. May I first of all advise you that we are not expecting a fire drill, so if the alarm does sound, do not use the lift, exit by the stairs. And on Hamilton Terrace, which is to my right, we meet in the grass verge right, as reminds me, right by the toilets. I think we should just go around the table and do introductions, but first of all, for the minutes, we have apologies from Councillor Anne Lucas and Councillor Kevin Maitland is attending. We have apologies from Councillor Chris Saint, who this board wishes him all the very best in his recovery, and Councillor Stephen Thirlwell is here. And so, if we go around the table, sorry. I do apologise, and Councillor Stokes is not here, but of course we have Councillor Emma Timms, who's an ideal person. Welcome. So we'll start with me. My name is Councillor Andrew Mott. I'm leader of Warwick District Council, and we'll go to the left.
Chris Elliott, Chief Executive, Warwick District Council.
Councillor Stephen Thirlwell, Deputy Leader, Stratford District Council.
Dave Webb, Deputising for Paul Lancaster, Stratford District Council.
Alan Franks, Managing Director of Newton and Bedworth Borough Council.
Councillor Dennis Harvey, Leader of the Newton and Bedworth Borough Council.
Councillor David Humphreys, Leader of North Warwickshire Borough Council.
Steve Maxey, North Warwickshire Borough Council.
Steve Atkinson, Hinkley and Bosworth Borough Council.
Councillor Mike Hall, Leader of Hinkley and Bosworth Borough Council.
Monica Fogarty, Warwickshire County Council. Councillor Izzy Second, Leader of Warwickshire County Council.
Paul Dees, Coventry Warwickshire Local Enterprise Partnership.
Martin Yardley, Coventry Warwickshire Local Enterprise Partnership.
Jonathan Browning, Coventry and Warwickshire Local Enterprise Partnership.
Martin Reeves, Chief Executive, Coventry City Council. Councillor Kevin Johnson, Coventry City Council.
Ian Davis, Director of the Borough Council.
Thank you. Our first item is to look at the minutes of the meeting held on the 6th of July. Do I sign and approve those as a true record, first of all? I see no hands up to the contrary, so that is a true record. I will sign them. Any matters arising? I note that a lot of these items are on the agenda coming up later. Steve.
Thank you, Chairman. On agenda item 8 in the minutes, perhaps I need educating as I wasn't here at the last meeting, but I have assumed knuckles should be knuckles. That seems to be missed off that particular listing.
Any other comments? But I'd like to speak on this one. Anyone else wish? Yes.
We actually had a discussion about this at the last EPB, and Knuckle at the moment is the agreed programme. The Stratford extension is not part of the agreed programme, which is why there is less on it at the moment. That's not, of course, to say that there won't be in the future.
I believe, sorry, was there anyone else wishing to speak? I believe that the EPB fully supports the best connectivity we can get between our towns throughout the city and the county. And to that end, I would suggest that we might agree to a minute which confirms our commitment to increasing and strengthening rail connectivity, and therefore our wish is that we continue to pursue knuckles. Councillor Second.
I think what I would say is I think we all agree with the intention and the aspiration. What it needs to be done is built into the growth bids, and it has to go forward into that resource allocation. So if that's the proposal, I think it needs to go through proper bidding proposal to become so, because that's actually the next step that we need to get to. The aspiration, fine, but we then need to put the finance behind it.
Excellent, thank you for that guidance. Celestina, have you got the sort of the two comments merged into one that makes sense? Leaders, do we all agree with that?
Can you just be clarified, Chair? That's a matter arising, is it?
Yes.
Because the county has explained that the minute was correct. So it's not...
Yes, it's matters arising and a further comment by this board. Yes. Okay, we're all agreed on that. Are there any other matters arising? Okay. We now go to the strategic economic plan update. Martin.
That's fine. I'm actually going to start, and Martin will add in where necessary. Working on the basis that you've read the report around the refresh, but just by way of summary, we're partway through the process of updating the SEP, which is referred to as a refresh, that you considered earlier in the year. Just in terms of the process, and I'll talk a little bit more about the economic context at the end of the report. There's two work streams that we're working towards. One is the establishment of the pipeline of projects and programmes, which is actually the main feature of the work currently underway. And supplementary to that is the 2015 update of the original 2014 SEP. These work streams have been done by a cross-partner group comprising representatives from 6 key stakeholders listed there, along with the private sector. So that work, I'd like to stress, has been done very much using all the representation bodies across Coventry and Warwickshire. The actual work of the expression of interest work stream is proposed to deliver an up-to-date pipeline of projects, programmes and schemes which will really deliver against our sub-regional economic growth, aligned to our original set objectives, and to help inform us around future negotiations for our local growth deal funding. 2.4 gives the position of the 18th of September, but subsequent to that we can confirm that to date we've had 70 expressions of interest. Those funding, the funding associated with that expression of interest number of 70 adds up to a request for £522 million, that's a big figure. And if all of those 70 expressions of interest were to be funded, you could expect to see a delivery of 2.6 billion in terms of public and private sector investment, recognising obviously that it won't all be funded. By theme, in terms of how we asked for them, we had 12 in around the growth and investment theme, the business, 8 for research and development, 4 for skills capital, and 42 of those for the infrastructure scheme. The expressions of interest in terms of how they came in, we asked people to submit in terms of large-scale investment programmes which have a value of in excess of 20 million, and we had also a request for individual projects with a value of £1 million. The analysis is currently underway to sort of identify across 7 themes which of those projects are large-scale investment programmes and which of them are individual projects, because some of them have an overlap. What we're currently doing at the moment is basically using the moderation panel to try and work out how to go forward, and this board, along with the LEP board, will be giving further feedback around that process in November. The other aspect of the update is around refreshing the economic context in which those expressions of interest are being considered and thinking about the economy going forward. We've received and undertook some analysis which really kind of looks at the structural economic issues for the area, and it won't be a great surprise to you in terms of sort of backward looking that we have recognised that we have had some issues, particularly around sort of productivity, but what we have seen in terms of going forward is that our gross value added forecasts are going to be focused in and around the sectors of automotive machinery. Not necessarily high job numbers, but a high level of GVA, but job numbers probably in terms of increases are likely to be in the construction sector. And also there's a huge consideration to be given around the growth in the ICT and computer programming, which will see significant growth in gross value added, and perhaps to a lesser extent employment growth. And I wanted to sort of stress that particular economic context, particularly in terms of the forward-looking analysis that will be done around the current expressions of interest that have come in, that obviously in terms of prioritising interventions and where funding should be given, that we do have now some very clear analysis on what the growth sectors are for Coventry, Warwickshire, South Economic Prosperity Board, and that we can obviously use that intelligence to help inform our decision making in a much more considered way. I think other points to be made around timing of the process and the ability to engage is that what will happen in terms of the expressions of interest and the update is that we will bring the information back to you and the refresh data, and that will go out to a full consultation whereby partners and stakeholders will have the opportunity to contribute and feed in.
Could you just confirm when do you think this will come back to us, and when do you think the consultation will start?
I think it will come back to this board in November, and we're looking to do something from that point in terms of consultation.
Thank you.
Can I just give my usual health check on this? So you will recall we presented the previous set. The health check was this drive for growth, very laudable. What we want to do will have implications for the infrastructure of the sub-region, and I think you've got to be absolutely clear in terms of going forward that if you are driving for growth, and this is seeking further growth and targeted growth, it will have implications for the sub-region of this, and you can read into that if you will, but we want to make sure that you don't just see that this is growth in isolation for all the things that growth brings with it.
Thank you for that clarity. Comments? Councillor Seconds.
Thank you very much. Those are very wise words, and I think we need to be very careful about that because it has bigger, longer-term impacts around schools and the infrastructure that the county puts in as well. And so I think we do need to take that. But that wasn't why I wanted to ask. There were a couple of points, Paula, in your presentation. You identified the bids against 4 specific sections, particularly a number of bids against infrastructure. You didn't pick up on the 3 bottom ones, which were culture and tourism, digital and climate change, which I wondered whether you might like to comment on that. And particularly I wanted to pick up on the digital connectivity. As you identified, ICT and computer programming being one of the key areas for growth. And I wonder if we shouldn't be aligning, what's the known growth area to some of the bid proposals and trying to make some common sense of that.
Yes, apologies. In terms of those other 3 sectors, I don't have the information. I can find it out for you. The information I was given was by the 4 themes. I am aware, however, that there were a number of expressions of interest, particularly in the cultural sector, that may well be captured possibly under the infrastructure and the business growth investment theme. But we can certainly find that information out and differentiate it.
If I can just come back on it. That's helpful. Particularly, in a way, there's a reason why I wanted to pick up on the connectivity and that. The Solihull, Coventry and Warwickshire programme on broadband rollout has been going extremely well, and I have to say we had a meeting last week with BD UK, and it would appear that the programme has been well run. It's identified a huge amount of information, massive amount of information, which BD UK were very grateful for, and they recognise that we're probably up in the top 5 of people who are really doing a good job on this. However, there is a sort of pill to swallow with this. We're getting to that point where the last few are going to be difficult to reach, but actually the rollout's been pretty good, but we now need to engage all the partners across the whole sub-region area, because where it's been moving quite well, there's beginning to be a bigger gap. I have to pick up on some of the Coventry-wide spots as well, and we kind of need to develop a programme where that drives forward, because there isn't one at the moment, and I think there is the potential to lose out on that and not to grow those areas that are seem to not be connected, and this is of course vitally important for business.
If I may, Because I think that's exactly right. And in fact, you may recall at the last board meeting, we did talk about an update of the board as well in terms of the broadband rollout. And I think that's scheduled for either the next meeting or the one after that. Having that infrastructure in place is absolutely one of the fundamentals for the set, and the alignment of the growth areas with the projects that are coming in for bidding is something that we will seek to tie those loose ends together as we go through the set process. But I think there's full support from public and private sector in terms of making sure that we complete the rollout process as aggressively as possible.
Thank you.
Can I just add one point? In terms of the set, this is around growth theory, but in terms of establishing the priorities, it's critical that it gets mentioned because European funding will have that ability, and there's something like £80 million that's been nominally allocated to broadband that type of infrastructure. So it's very important to get mentioned, even if it's not a specific job that comes forward from our growth theory, because of other funding that the set helps to guide.
Any other comments on any other issue? Okay, colleagues, we're therefore asked to note the report, note that we'll receive a draft version of the set for future meeting, and it's been indicated in November. And I think we need to add a note that this board, the EPP, has a desire to engage with all, with regard to digital connectivity, so to speak, the EPP has a desire to engage with all partners and develop a robust programme going forward.
That'd be really helpful.
So, we're actually recording what we've discussed in terms of that. Does that find favour with everybody? All those leaders who want to wave at me? That's lovely, thank you very much. We now go